The Boston Celtics land star guard Jrue Holiday from the Portland Trail Blazers in one of the biggest moves of the summer, and it's a brilliant one that cements the Celtics championship window as right now. I'll be diving into the trade, whether or not it might have been an overpay, and a little bit of a breakdown on the current Celtics rotation on this episode of Celtics Digest. And as we get into the video, a reminder, if you're one of the 91% of people who are watching this video that has not hit that red subscribe button down below, do it now because we have close to daily Boston Celtics news and we'll be posting all season long. Let's dive into this, and Jrue Holiday is a Boston Celtic. It feels a little surreal to say that, considering the Celtics have been up against Jrue Holiday, who was a member of the Bucks for the last number of years and won a championship with them. We got a little tweet here from Wojnarowski. The Celtics land all-star guard Jrue Holiday elevating the Eastern Conference arms race. And of course, the Milwaukee Bucks going out and picking up Damian Lillard from the Blazers. The Blazers then flipping Jrue Holiday back to another Eastern Conference contender in the Boston Celtics. It's a wild, wild off season. But what did the Celtics have to give up? Well, the Celtics had to trade Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2024 Golden State first, and a 2029 unprotected Boston first to the Portland Trail Blazers. So, it definitely wasn't cheap. That's kind of the thing that a lot of Celtics fans are saying. It definitely wasn't a cheap trade. To give up Malcolm Brogdon, I know a lot of Celtics fans are saying, well, it was all right. But think about it. He was the 6th man of the year, and until he got injured in the playoffs, he did everything that Boston Celtics fans would have possibly wanted him to do. But again, being injured is a skill. Well, I guess staying healthy is a skill. Being injured is not a skill, although you might be able to argue it is. But Malcolm Brogdon was injured at the time it mattered most. And same thing with Robert Williams. He's been off the court more than he's been on the court. Maybe not statistically true, but it sure feels like it, right? In important moments, you can't always count on Robert Williams to be there. So the Celtics had to give up a lot, but they got Jrue Holiday. And honestly, I think this is a brilliant move from Brad Stevens and the Celtics organization. And the reason being is this. It's kind of what Milwaukee did, right? They gave up 4 firsts for Jrue Holiday. They brought him in and they got a title. The Celtics are giving away Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams, 2 quite injury-prone players, a first that's not even theirs, and a 2029 pick. And while that's 6 years down the road, the Celtics could be bad by then. We're looking at the end of Jaylen Brown's contract, but Tatum will still be around in his supermax, so those 2 will still be here. I think the odds of the Celtics being bad are quite low. So all in all, to give up Malcolm Brogdon, who was the 6th man of the year, though injury-prone, Robert Williams, who was a little injury-prone as well, and some firsts that are maybe inconsequential, probably not inconsequential, but they're not going to be first overall picks for the future, to land a star guard in Jrue Holiday who immediately bolsters your defense. It's like, and offense even, it's perfect, right? And it's like the Celtics almost have like a 2K My League type starting lineup. And let's just kind of dive into the lineup a little bit here, because the current rotation is going to be very, very interesting. So the current rotation is probably going to be this. You got Jrue Holiday and maybe Derrick White. That's kind of the first question we have to ask, right? Are you going to start both of them? Because I think you have to. I think you have to start Jrue Holiday and Derrick White alongside each other in the backcourt. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum picking up the 3 and the 4 with Kristaps Porzingis at the 5. And the reason I'm not saying to take Derrick White off the bench is because your center depth now is significantly hurt, right? You trade away Robert Williams. Blake Griffin is probably going to retire and not come back to the Boston Celtics. So your center rotation now is Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, who is aging, right? And Porzingis is injury prone on his own. And then Luke Kornet. And I mean, I love Luke Kornet. The Kornet contest is a fantastic thing. It's a great meme. It's one of the best things in the NBA. But is Luke Kornet really going to be eating a lot of your big playoff minutes? I mean, I think it's possible, though I don't want to say it's likely, right? With Kristaps Porzingis probably, like in his career, statistically saying he's probably only going to play between 60 and 70 games any given season, though he was fairly healthy last year. And Al Horford just getting older and older. And again, his shooting in the playoffs last year went shot off a cliff, which was kind of abnormal for Al Horford, right? Who's been so reliable for all his time with the Boston Celtics. It raises some question marks. So, and also, not even to mention that, but we're going to dive into a bit of the bigs later as well. But the guard depth, you have Jrue Holiday and you have Derrick White. Payton Pritchard now is probably your backup point guard. And I know that Derrick White and Jrue Holiday are going to try and split the minutes so that at least one of them is on the court for the majority of the game. But still, it kind of hurts, right? And I understand. Top-end talent is so important in the NBA because if you run out that lineup of Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and they're all healthy, that is a championship starting 5, and you can't change my mind. And I think it fits really, really well as well because the Boston Celtics, after giving up Marcus Smart, didn't have really that, well, I mean, Derrick White is an elite perimeter defender. Let's not kid ourselves. He is fantastic, all defense team. But that second elite perimeter defender, right? You had Marcus Smart, who was kind of a catch-all, right? He could guard any position 1 through 4, sometimes even 5. But now with him gone, you kind of had that gap where it's like, yeah, I mean, you still have Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, who are great defenders, Derrick White as well. But to have that insurance policy in Jrue Holiday, who can guard the other team's best 1 or 2 guard on any given night, and like, you know, when you're taking, say, Derrick White out of the game, you don't have to sacrifice and play someone like a Payton Pritchard on a really good guard. And notably, the Milwaukee Bucks now, who have Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton. I know Middleton's, I guess, more of a 3, but you still have those guys. You need someone good on both of them at all times, and you can just stick like, think about this: Jrue Holiday or Derrick White on Damian Lillard in every single game of a 7-game series without having to take any minutes off. He's going to get hounded, right? So it's just kind of the perfect move for the Boston Celtics considering the landscape of the Eastern Conference. And I saw a little post actually online from Highland Hilltopper in the Celtics subreddit. They said, here are some of the big name bigs that are available as well. Well, I guess not big name, but you know, guys that could fill in. Dwayne Dedmon, Bismack Biyombo, Blake Griffin, Derek Favors, Gorgui Dieng, maybe JaMychal Green. Don't know if they're really options. Maybe one of them has something left to contribute to a title contender. And I mean, we've seen JaMychal Green fit in with some very good teams with Denver and I believe Golden State. Gorgui Dieng, maybe even past his prime. Say Blake retires, but a lot of these guys, those guys that are named there, like, you can't tell me that Bismack Biyombo can't fill in for 10 to 15 minutes a night and just bang bodies down low and block a few shots. That's kind of what he's done his whole career. And that kind of game, if that's all you need him to do, that's going to be the perfect role for someone like a Bismack Biyombo, right? Blake did it last year, but Biyombo's a better defender than Blake, though he definitely has lost a bit of foot speed. He's definitely not a top-end center, or even like maybe a starting-level center, even a backup center at this point. But that's not what the Celtics need. You just need some insurance for Kristaps and Al Horford so that during the regular season, you're able to kind of bring them to the bench or sit him for a game or two. And I know the Celtics went and got Neemias Queta, and I know he is a very solid player, runner-up for G League MVP, solid rim protector. But again, he was a G League player mainly last year. Getting in one of these NBA vets will not only help maybe Neemias or work his way along with the Celtics, but it'll also provide that that kind of veteran presence down low where they know how to bang bodies down low. They know how to tire out the opposing centers, and they know how to eat up a few minutes, a few games every now and then when you want to rest someone like Kristaps or Al when you're waiting for the playoffs. So I mean, I know a lot of Celtics fans are saying it's an overpay. And actually, we'll just dive into this right now. Was it an overpay? Was it a bad deal? I know a lot of Celtics fans are saying it is. And honestly, I was speaking with some friends, and we all kind of said, like, the first reaction was, holy crap, that's a lot to give up. But as I said earlier in the video, let's break this down. Malcolm Brogdon, injury prone. And it was injured at the most important time of the year last year and cost the Celtics a finals and maybe a championship shot. I'm not saying it's Malcolm Brogdon's fault the Celtics didn't get to the finals. No, I'm not saying that. But again, staying healthy is a skill. Robert Williams, you know, it's kind of that, again, like, oh man, if he's healthy, like, we could be so good. He's one of the best defending bigs in the league, and statistically, yeah, he definitely was, and I thought he would have been a great fit alongside Kristaps. But again, those injuries, you can never count on him to be fully healthy for a season or a playoff run. And these draft picks, right? The Golden State first, whatever, it's fine. Just who cares? It's a Golden State first. I know as Celtics fans, you kind of have no attachment to that kind of thing. The 2029 unprotected first could potentially be bad if the Celtics decide, okay, the championship window's over, we're blowing up the team. Maybe it'd be nice, but I think the organization's not going to want that to happen. The plan is to be competitive until 2030, right? You have Jaylen Brown, you have Jayson Tatum. You're going to have them into their early 30s. You're going to try and be competing. You're going to keep Jrue Holiday around long term. Will he still be playing at that point? I'm not sure. But at the same time, I think the Celtics will still be very solid, at least a playoff team. So all in all, like, what did you really give up of note to get a healthy, all-star caliber point guard who can go out and average almost 20 a game if you need him to, while bringing elite defense and very, very good playmaking? Like, he's just the perfect fit for the Boston Celtics. Jrue Holiday is the guy that you want to be at the one with these other guys on the court. Jrue Holiday being the Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Kristaps, Porzingis point guard is just the perfect fit. He's like Derrick White on steroids in a lot of ways, right? He's as good a defender as Derrick White, if you ask me. They're definitely very similar, but Jrue is a better shooter, a better playmaker overall for sure, and I would say just kind of better on offense as a whole. And to have both of them as the options for the Celtics point guard going into this season is just amazing, right? So, to me, it's a brilliant no-brainer move. A move that cements the Celtics championship window as right now in the next 5 years, and honestly, all but guarantees them a title. And I hate using that because a title's never guaranteed. The NBA is crazy. So many crazy things can happen. But at the same time, this roster on paper looks phenomenal. And while there are still some concerns about Kristaps Porzingis, his injury proneness, I guess, and Al Horford becoming a little bit older, this feeling of saying about the Celtics, oh, if they're healthy, one of the best teams, they're going to win a title. Those days are kind of gone. The only guy that you can really say that about now is Kristaps Porzingis. You're not saying, if Malcolm Brogdon can stay healthy, if Rob Williams can stay healthy, right? If these guys who have injuries in the regular season can put it all together at the right time, freak injuries can still happen. But to have that solid presence in Jrue Holiday alongside Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, and if you have Kristaps Porzingis and he's healthy at least just for the playoff run, this team is going to be borderline unstoppable. I know the Milwaukee Bucks look amazing. There's still a lot of question marks around the Philadelphia 76ers and many other teams in the Eastern Conference, but boy, as a Celtics fan, I'm excited, and I think a lot of you guys are excited too, because I think Banner 18 is going to come much sooner rather than later. But that'll do it for this episode of Celtics Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, and we really appreciate your support. I've been Josh Gosse. I'll catch you in the next one.